NPL Victoria continues, and it is Avondale versus Hume City, which shapes to be a fantastic game here on Saturday afternoon action. As we see both sides now out onto the pitch. Hume City in their home kit, which is red, but it does not clash with the blue of the Avengers. Starting lineup here for Avondale. It is Rory Bryan in goal with a back four of Brandon Lundy, Matthew Reid, Philip Riccobene and Dylan Jacoupy. In midfield, it's Scott Hillier, Yite Towns and Joey Katabian. Blake Carpenter and Stefan Valentini will provide the width, with Liam Boland back into the starting lineup. He is the striker up top. On the bench, it's Bon Scott, Charlie Beverley, and a very strong attacking bench from the Avengers with Stefan Zini, Christian Trzeski and Yusuf Ahmed. For Hume City, Michael Weir is in goal with a back four of Matthew Lazaridis, Jordan Maricic and Patrick Langlois, as well as Danny Dixon. In midfield, it's Ben Bowler, Theo Mark Callis, and also Andy Brennan. Mark Ochang will provide the width there with Josh Bingham up top. On the bench, it's Lucas Trinkowski, Abubakar Kapar, John McGuigan, who's in for his first game for Hume City since crossing over from St Albans. Mitch Cooper to add some attacking quality off the bench, as well as Tasmanian Alex Walter. As we get closer to kick-off here, my name is Chris Gleeson. It's great to bring into the commentary gang Neil Simons. Welcome, Neil.
Thank you for the introduction, Chris. And it's obviously wonderful to have Saturday afternoons at Avenger Park. Facility looking wonderful today. Although some overcast conditions, I'm very excited for this one, Glebo.
Yeah, it should be a fantastic game, and we are away here. As the early ball is a little bit too strong for Blake Carpenter. He'll be up against March Ochang, who'll be playing right back for Hume City. Patrick Langlois, Jordan Maricic and Lazaridis, that back four, and Maricic with the early clearance, looking for Brennan. Lundy with the header. And it's Reid who comes in strongly. Lundy. Bowler will be able to pick the ball up first, but a heavy ball from him will go out for an early goal kick and an early touch for Rory Bryan. As Bon Scott still working his way back to full fitness, and Rory Bryan has been in fantastic form between the posts for Avondale, Neil.
Oh, absolutely. I think it really sort of, with the absence of Chris Oldfield this season, he's stepped into that position, has provided some thorough performances, many clean sheets, one of them being last week against St Albans. But it also speaks to the testament, well, it's also a testament to the quality that Avondale have off the bench as well, with Bon Scott. He's also quite a good keeper in his own right.
Here's in Jacoupy. Crosses into the box. Langlois gets it away for Bowler. And now Theo Marcallis with a little pocket of space. In the end, they've turned it over here, Hume City. Bowler gets it back. Now Bingham. He's been an excellent striker. Holds the ball up really well for Hume City and is definitely a real threat in the air. Heavy touch from Brennan. Goes and fights and tries to get it back. And the touch goes out for a throw. So we've had beautiful sunshine here in Melbourne, but as always in Victoria, 4 seasons in the one day. It's gotten quite dark the last half an hour with a sprinkle of a few showers. Still perfect playing conditions. In the earlier under-20s game, it was ended 1 goal each between Avondale and Hume City. And now it's Matthew Reid. As they work it through, looking for Boland. Can't get the ball to Carpenter, but great pressing so far, and it's Yite Towns. Steps on the ball. And gave Langlois an opportunity to clear. Now Bingham and Bowler. Neat turn. But great pressing so far by Avondale.
Absolutely. Avondale love to come out with a staunch press and ensure that they're able to attack the play on the wing, especially through the likes of Stefan Valentini as well, who's been on fire this season, 6 goals in 8 games.
Yeah, he's been excellent after starting the season a bit slowly through injury. They've had their injury problems, the Avengers, so far this year, but slowly getting them all back to full fitness. Jem Burkent played in the under-20s today, and Jonathan Germano, maybe 5-6 weeks still away, but he'll be an important player on the run home as the Avengers look to go after this premiership, as they have been so strong in the last couple of years, always in that conversation. got the chance to go top today with a victory, with South Melbourne losing last night to their arch rivals, the Melbourne Knights. Now Ochang. Back to Michael Weir. Now out wide, Lazaridis, early ball. Here comes Dixon, trying to use his pace and cuts the ball back to Brennan. Gets the touch and it dribbles home. Andy Brennan opens the scoring for Hume City on a quick counter-attack started by Lazaridis. And Danny Dixon's cross was perfect. He didn't get the greatest of connections, Andy Brennan, but it was enough to wrong foot Rory Bryan, and Hume take the lead.
An absolutely wonderful strike from Andy Brennan. Obviously didn't get everything onto it, but what a beautiful dashing run from Danny Dixon on that left-hand side. He illustrates his versatility, and all the chocolates must go to Andy Brennan. Puts Hume up, well, within inside 4 minutes. We could be in for a very intriguing contest.
We have got two very attacking-minded sides here, and well, Avondale pressed quite high, but that was the time where some great composure by Matthew Lazaridis to beat that press and get the ball through to Dixon, who shows quite a bit of versatility and pace, and he was just no match for Matthew Reid trying to chase him, and a great cross into the box. And as we wait to see if what Avondale can do to recover from the early setback in this game. His bowler always likes to drop deep in between his centre backs. And we see now that Avondale, after pressing so hard, are quite happy just to contain for the moment. Ball over the top, Bingham. Chests it into the path of Ochang. Bingham will still be able to hold on to the ball. Maricic. Good work from Boland, and Bingham will see the ball out.
Well, I think obviously we've complimented the hold-up play from Josh Bingham. Obviously some A-League experience as well. He's scored plenty of goals this season. Obviously he scored last week in that loss to South Melbourne as well. So the ball will be parried into that sort of central area in the 18-yard box for Josh to latch onto those. But with the likes of Andy Brennan on the ball, he's got plenty to illustrate as well.
Well, they have lost a couple of really exciting players, as the crossfield ball might be a bit too strong for Lazaridis there from Langlois. But we've seen a few players leave Hume City. James Brown go to Nunawading, and Marco Delic to Dandenong City. But Josh McGuigan has come in, and Alex Walter from Tasmania. So they have lost experience, but we've got a couple of players on the bench who we might see later in the game, Neil.
Absolutely. I think Marco Delic is that very crafty winger who's able to curl those balls into the box and also into the goal as well. Scored some wonderful goals this season, both for Dandy City and for Hume. He will be a big loss, but especially James Brown as well. He's obviously got some A-League pedigree, and that loss will prove unvaluable for them.
Well, great work from Lundy to get a corner for the Avengers, which will see Reid and Hillier move their way into the box. So a test with Joey Katabian on the ball. We've also got probably the smallest player on the pitch, Blake Carpenter, moved to the back post. What a story that would be if he was able to score from this bunch of players. Cross comes into the back post. Carpenter! Blake Carpenter. Hume City will be unhappy with that. A great ball over the back. And Blake Carpenter is able to head the ball home. In fact, it might be Valentini. Well, it was Valentini, the one who was at the back post. My apologies. And Valentini equalises. And what a hot start we've got here at Avenger Park.
Flaming hot. Have to say, Stefan Valentini got in the right position at the right time at the back post. Well, I guess it's an illustration of versatility. He's able to drive in between the lines and also to ensure that he's able to be at the back post and to latch onto the header. Well, 2 goals in 8 minutes. I'd have to say I did not expect this going into this fixture.
And see, quite a hot start, a set-piece goal there by the Avengers. O'Brien on the ball. He'll be a bit flat with that too, Stefan. He's had a couple of goals credited to other people so far this season. But it was Valentini who continues that hot streak. Now it's Carpenter. Coming through is Langlois, and Boland fouls him with the sliding challenge. So, Hume City, and as always, you can message through on the Facebook group. Let us know where you're watching the game from and let you know your thoughts on this early start. 8 minutes gone, a goal apiece. As the rain starts to come down again here at Avenger Park. Ball over the top. Here is Lazaridis again, but the ball slips on the wet turf and out of his reach and out for an Avondale throw. It's one of 2 Saturday NPL top division games today. So I guess Altona later on tonight at 6:30. And 3 games last time. Some exciting games where a late comeback from the Eastern Lions wasn't enough as Green Gully took all 3 points at Green Gully Reserve. Although Charlie Fry did score one of the goals of the season from almost halfway. Now Dixon has the quality to do that from long range, but he's got the chance to cross the ball in here for Hume City. Cross comes in. Reid up. Ball from Riccobene up in the air as Boland looks to try to clear it. And Riccobene gets a second attempt and plays the ball all the way back to Michael Weir, and it'll allow the Avengers to get back into position. It was a decent ball there by Danny Dixon, just great defending from Reid.
Absolutely so. Matthew Reid is I guess, so the Iron Man of the Avondale defence. He's also got that length, which is, fantastic for every NPL Victoria side, and to sort of drift into space there to clear the ball, especially with his partner in Riccobene, is fantastic as Hume on a counter-attack.
And it is Brennan to whip it in across the near post. Chance for Theo Marcellus to shoot, and it's just over the top. Rory Bryan with the diving save not needed, and Marcellus goes just over the top.
Well, Theo Marcellus was afforded inches of space, was free as a bird there, just the ball not exactly falling in place where you would have liked. However, Rory Bryan was troubled there.
And I must apologise for those that I've said to message through on the Facebook. It doesn't seem like the stream is up on the Facebook at the moment, but it is definitely up on the YouTube, so I'm sure that's where everybody is watching this game. Reid, Valentini, is able to turn Marcellus, and now Jacoupy. There is a bit of old Hume City flair in this team with Dylan Jacoupy. And you've also got Liam Boland and Christian Trajeski on the bench, all played for Hume City in the past in the NPL. So just double checking. Yes, we've got the stream up on the YouTube. We'll try to work it out on the Facebook. And here it's Ochang. Out wide with the cross, near post. Riccobene is able to clear in the air. Lundy didn't really get it that far away, and Hume will get it back. Poor pass has given it away, though, from Buzdugan, and now the chance for Yitte Towns to drive the ball forward. He's got support. Katabian. Now Carpenter. Buzdugan with a sliding challenge. He missed the ball. They've got a good chunk of Blake Carpenter, and Avondale are going to have another set piece here. I'm sure they're going to be a little bit more careful with the smaller players at the back post this time, Hume City. As Valentini again makes his way to the back post. Reid forward with Hillier. Wait to see on the delivery from Katabian if he's going to try to whip this across the front of goal and hopefully try to get an Avondale player to get a touch on this. And that's exactly what he does. Hits the wall though. Riccobene on his left, drives it low. As Hume fight for the ball, Katabian. Lazaridis gets it back. And Hume will be able to clear the danger.
Well, the danger was averted there in the best way possible. And Avondale, they are pressing up a little bit more. I mean, that sort of perhaps a little bit overzealous in many stages, but they've obviously got plenty of set-piece acumen as well to to play for, so Hume better not get complacent.
That's a great ball over the top. McCallus tries to go to the back post, and Reid is in the right place to get it out for a corner, but almost outdone from that ball over the top again, Avondale.
Well, absolutely. Theo McCallus possesses some A-League experience at the Melbourne Victory, so McCallus has a very physical presence, and, well, that cross certainly troubled Matthew Reid. Very strong header.
Yeah, it certainly did. He's quite dominant in the air, Reid. He's always good for a goal, or, 3 or 4 each season as well as Reedy. So it's going to be a cross from Hume City, close to the keeper. In fact, the ball goes onto the roof of the net, and a wasted delivery there from Hume City. Danny Dixon is quite a talented player. There's not many players that will take set pieces with their opposite foot. That's what Danny Dixon does. Naturally a right footer, but on this side he'll always go for that left-footed in-swinger. Now Ochang, go back to Michael Weir. And Maricic can slow the ball down. It's been quite a hectic first 15 minutes here at Avenger Park, Neil.
Absolutely. I think it's very end-to-end attacking play, especially on the wings. Ochen loves to drift the play down on that right-hand side and parry the ball to Theo Markellis in the middle. So in the case of Avondale, it's a matter of just clearing their lines effectively and switching to the likes of Brandon Lundy and Stefan Valentini. They're obviously two dominant forces within the NPL Victoria. And, well, you have to say that we're in for some more attacking football as we reach the third of the first half being completed.
Langlois' ball didn't get to his right direction. Lazaretti's has to scamper to get back into position. Here's Valentini. He's got Lundy out wide. He keeps going himself, does Valentini, and in the end had a little clip at Theo Markellis' ankle. Maybe that time Valentini, when he cut inside, he had other options, but tried to try forward since the confidence that he's in at the moment.
Well, if you're Steph Valentini, why not have a little driving run in the centre of the park? He's obviously wowed all the critics this NPL Victoria season and has really sort of stated his case for the MVP season.
Just Hume City play that ball over the top again, and Rory Bryan will see it out, but Hume City so far, Neil, have had a pretty poor away form at the moment, haven't they, with their 5 games they've played so far?
Absolutely. Well, only 1 point from their 5 away games, and despite sort of not a horrific league table standing for themselves, away from home they aren't able to sort of latch onto some form, perhaps it's due to sort of the conditions that they've been surrounding themselves with. I mean, it's a fortress that they have at ABD Stadium. Obviously at home they're second in terms of their records.
That's it, 5 games at home for 4 wins and a draw, and only conceded the 2 goals, but they've been quite poor away from home. Have Hume City conceded 12 goals in their 5 games, well, 13 including today. So that's sort of the reason where Hume City have dropped off and find themselves outside of the 6th, and it really is vital for them to get at least a point out of today and stay with that chasing pack. Brennan is now swapped wings with Dixon. Maricic slides his way through. Now Hume through Bingham, looking for the return ball. Riccobene. Towns around the corner, shouts for handball, not given, and it will be a chance for Katabian, but a heavy touch is cleared. In the middle, Hillier. And Riccobene, who, although didn't play for Hume City in the NPL, in the VPL he was a player for Hume City when they made that transition to ABD Stadium. And now it's Lazaridis. Now Bingham. Brennan looking to drive. Katabian with a great challenge. And Hume have Avondale on the back foot for the moment. Now Maricic drives forward again. In the end, he probably had the chance to switch the ball out wide, and just the poor pass there from Maricic.
Well, I think it's defensive solidity is one thing for Hume City, but to drive the play forward through the likes of Langlois has been something that So he needs to improve on, especially switching the play down to the wing sides. That's where they really start to flourish in those attacking strides. I think the more stagnant the play is, the more they struggle. They thrive off diverse and agile attacking situations.
In Hume City, they do send the fullbacks quite high to join in those attacks, as we'll see with Lazaridis and Ochang. So they, going forward, they'll always have that passing option to change things up to Hume City. Also can leave them vulnerable at the back by overcommitting. And with the quality of wingers that Avondale have, like this guy here, Carpenter, who's pulled back by Ochang, and we might see the first yellow card of the game. Ochang knew he was well beaten and just didn't want Carpenter to get that cross in with the left foot to the waiting Boland, and he'll get a yellow card for his troubles. 18, almost 19 minutes gone here at Avenger Park.
A very unjust challenge. Perhaps too much force was exerted there. Blake Carpenter can cause plenty of troubles on that left side, often drops deep as well in many positions, so he's got that versatility. I think in this situation, Jakupi will be the one to whip it in. So my apologies, it'll be Katabian.
Will be Katabian. He's got a great set piece delivery. Carpenter leaves it for him. Cross comes in, headed Hillier. In the end, handed it backwards from where he wanted to go. And Dixon, we've seen his pace to set up the first goal in this game. He drives it forward, but look at the power from Yite Towns to come back and dispossess him. He's such an important player, is Towns, and it's good to see him back playing in the NPL in full fitness after missing a good chunk of the start of the season and pre-season with a serious ankle injury.
Absolutely. He's had a profound impact on this fixture thus far, and to see sort of the impact he's having, especially in these environments. The rise from adversity is extremely important. It's a very cutthroat environment here in the NPL Victoria, so to sort of get yourself back in a comfortable environment has been very important for himself.
Well, Brennan almost was able to cut that pass out from Riccobeno, who will get another opportunity, and this time with the right foot goes for the big switch. Chance for handball, and that'll be paid against Valentini Willits. Valentini pretends he didn't hear it, but was able to drive forward and get a chance to stretch the legs. Langlois plays it back to Maricic, and Hume will set up from the back again. Should be cut out there from Lundy as he tried to play it to Carpenter, and out for another throw. Ochang. Hume City, probably the last 5 or 6 minutes, are getting a lot of possession in this game, really finding their feet. And it's over the top. Once again, bombing on his Lazaridis, but the offside flag will beat him. But Hume City really dictating play at the moment.
I think tempo is an extremely important facet or factor within fixtures between these two sides, and I think, well, both sides sort of operate at a similar pace. However, when you have that possession advantage, you can really sort of dictate the tempo to your liking, and well, perhaps they might lose possession here.
It's Carpenter. It's got the Lundy on the overlap, but Carpenter goes straight. Katabian, Towns. Now they work it off. Valentini can use that skill in the box and get the shot away, and the deflection takes it away from goal, and it will go out for a corner, but wonderful work there by Stefan Valentini, who's really in the mood today. As you said, he's been in really hot form for Avondale.
Well, Stefan Valentini to have the awareness to drive into the 18-yard box and create some space for himself and ultimately get the shot. It was on target, but deflection to come away, but it's real reflections on sort of his ability to adapt to various match situations.
Another set piece. Blake Carpenter with the left foot to swing it in. Michael Weir with a strong punch away, but Carpenter's going to get another opportunity. Good turn, crosses low, and Hume City were able to deflect it out. Looked like Lazaridis out there for another corner. Such attacking quality. You already know that Avondale is always going to be up for at least a couple of goals a game. They've proved that so far this season. Big bunch of players around that 6-yard box trying to cramp Hume City goalkeeper Michael Weir, who one of his great strengths is his ability to snuff out crosses and the aerial ball. As Carpenter gets ready to swing it in again, near post, but this time too much bend on it and a wasted opportunity for Avondale.
Or perhaps they're a bit confident in their set-piece abilities, well, specifically from corners. The last couple corners haven't been weighted correctly, and perhaps too much bend on that, as you did say. So I think for Avondale, it's a matter of just continuing to play on the pressure on those counter-attacks, but Hume, with having a possession within the middle of the park, has caused them plenty of troubles.
And they're quite happy to be a bit patient, and Langlois over the top. Brennan in the channel is Bingham, and Reid had his ankles clipped there, unfortunately for Bingham, because Hume City would have been able to have a corner. And once again, that ball over the top has almost caught Avondale out, but Reid was alert to that danger. Towns. Osdugan right at his back. Now Valentini versus Lazaridis. And Lazaridis kicks the ball out. Almost onto the freeway there. We've got the Tullamarine freeway in the background. So we have seen a couple of clearances this year find their way out onto the freeway, which is quite a hazard, to be honest. So it's our close proximity. We are here to the Tullamarine freeway. And the Avengers' new home here at Parkvale. Mericic. Shields bowling away from the ball. And Lazaridis clears. Riccobene thought he had a bit more time. And Brennan was unable to pick his pocket. And now Reid. Bit of an awkward bobble in front of the goalkeeper then, but Brian was able to control, but they have given the ball away. Then Bowler. Looking for support. Finds it in Langlois. And again, Hume will build from the back. See, they're going to now go for that switch. Ochang. Good first touch, and he gets away from Lundy. Cross comes in for Bingham, and it eludes him. Reid slided in. And Lazaridis couldn't keep the ball in, but Reid did get a touch, and it will be a Hume throw. Dixon. And Langlois. Bowler. And now Hume's worked it well. How's the cross from Lazaridis? Looking for Marcellus. Lundy heads it away. Now Valentini, who swapped wings. In the end, Hume get it back. It's a promising move here from Hume City. Brennan stuck there in the corner. And the referee is going to go back to see Stefan Valentini, who unfortunately in that crunching challenge was able to get a bit of a hip and shoulder into the head. He's going to need some medical treatment.
Not great to see. Could be a huge blow for Avondale, but Stefan Valentini's been a wonderful forward. He's up on his feet now, so perhaps the medical treatment will not be required. But how about the cross from Mark Ochen in the earlier stanza of play? Just evaded Josh Bingham.
Just that perfect first touch out of the air by Ochang that was able to get him past Lundy. And Hume were looking for their second tapping goal. We have had 2 early goals in this game. In the 4th minute, it was Andy Brennan from a Danny Dixon cross. Then Stefan Valentini from a corner after 8 minutes. And it's going to be Carpenter. He'll want to get back onto his left foot, Blake Carpenter. Can he get the shot away? A heavy touch, and Bowler managed to get back and help out for Hume and Dixon. Gang with a good first touch. Hume have numbers forward. Bingham looking for support. Now Avondale get it back. On chasing through, Hume get it back. Now here's Brennan. Long range shot from Brennan, drives it wide.
perhaps a shot in desperation. Brennan was afforded plenty of space to drive forward into the 18-yard box, but he has got quite the right foot. Just went just wide.
Yeah, just dragged across. It was a great opportunity, but I see that good end-to-end action for Blake Carpenter driving forward and couldn't get his shot off, and how quickly Hume City moved up the other end. Mark Callis forcing Jacoupy back. And Jacoupy, in the end, no foul was given, but seemed like Theo Marcellus did have a handful of Jacoupy's jumper. But Hume have the throw. Almost half an hour ago on here at Avenger Park. Langlois. It's been quite versatile for Hume City playing in midfield, and unfortunately Hayden Tennant ruled out today. Ochang trying to chest it into the path of Brennan. But Hayden Tennant's a big loss for Hume City today. He's, been a best and fairest winner at Hume, and he's only in his early 20s. Every year for the last 4 years he's gotten better and better, and really striked up a great partnership there with Maricic. Absolutely.
Hayden Tennant sort of bustling down on those wingles in that wing back position. He obviously is a product of the famed Hume City youth setup, and it's obviously a huge loss for Hume. In this game, obviously, Ochen has done quite well attacking on that right-hand side, but you can see in that left wing-back position that they've struggled, and the absence of Tennant will hopefully won't prove too cataclysmic for City.
Langlois almost dispossessed. He's done well to hold on to the ball there, because Avondale had players everywhere over the top. That will be offside against Danny Dixon. And again, Hume trying to catch him out with that long ball. But for Avondale, there's plenty of opportunities for them to change this game later on as well, with just the attacking players they've got on the bench.
Well, absolutely. You've got, I guess, some A-League experience, if you want to call it, and Stefan Zini, obviously, was that injury replacement for West United earlier in the season. Christian Jajeski, obviously, has had quite the career overseas with, obviously, he's played with Hume City in the early parts of his career, but obviously was at Portugal and has scored a couple goals this year from long range. Yusuf Ahmed, obviously, touted as arguably the best winger outside of the A-League and former Melbourne City youth product. He's been fantastic with his length and his versatility moving forward.
Just shows that quality that Avondale have in their squad, and it's Yitte Towns to drive the ball forward, crosses in, and Michael Weir was able to collect that one. Just couldn't get the angle across, looking for Boland. Now Hume City, Dixon through ball, Reid in the right spot again. Now Marcellus switches it out, and that should be cut off. Now Boland. Lundy will drive it forward. Back to Liam Boland, who this time likes to play playmaker in the attack. Valentini crosses in, Maricic and Bowler, and Marcellus has got time to play the ball back. Was Dugan. In the end, Hume City just a couple of sloppy passes, give the ball back. Now Carpenter, can he make Hume pay? Turns inside, this time gets the shot away, and it'll drag wide. You can see both sides, as soon as they make that simple mistake in midfield, they're quite quick to start that counter-attack.
Well, absolutely. It's Avondale's sort of natural instinct to get on those 1-2s and sort of pick out the mistakes within possession. Obviously, they've got plenty of pace moving forward, so they'll be sure to exploit the mishaps that Hume do make.
Lazaridis. Ball in, Langlois. Now Ochang with a pretty poor touch. And Lundy makes sure that the linesman saw that ball went out of play. Brendan Lundy, probably one of the best fullbacks outside the A-League as well. Had a very successful stint up in New South Wales NPL with RPL Leichhardt before making the way to Avondale. Now Bingham Bowler over the top. Brennan's going to chase this one down. Reed got there quick, and anywhere will do for the big centre back. And Hume City will have the throw. And you see at the moment just a little bit of a lull in the game as both sides catch their breath and wait for Mark Otchang to go collect the ball for this throw in. Now Otchang. There's the Hume goal scorer Brennan. Katabian cuts it out. Boland, great turn from him. And here goes the wave of attacking intent from the Avengers, and it's Valentini up against Buzdugan. Can he find the shooting range? He can't. Heavy touch from him, and it was well cleared away by Hume. Now Hillier and Reed. Dylan Jakupi. It's another one for the Avengers who, the last couple of years, has spent a lot of time on the treatment table. And as you can see, Hume City are quite happy to sit everyone behind the ball at the moment.
Well, absolutely. It's just maintaining that defensive stability in order to cut out, well, I guess the quite tall attackers of that Avondale do possess. And, well, I think they've got about 6 men back in that 18-yard box, or near that 18-yard box.
Here's Carpenter. Katabian, just a little bobble in front of him as he was about to take that strike, and ball libs over the goals. We walked across the pitch pre-game and it seems to be in great condition, but there are some little lumpy sort of areas, as it's also the main sort of training pitch for the Avengers senior team, so it does get a little bit of wear and tear during the week. Again, Hume City with a poor pass from the back. Langlois back to his goalkeeper, Maricic, but just the last 5 minutes, Hume City just making some pretty poor mistakes. So they turn the ball over again. But just at the moment, Avondale just haven't been able to make them pay from them. Phil Riccobene. Towns in midfield. Out wide, Jakupi. Carpenter. Over the top. Michael Weir will collect that one, but see the last few minutes, Hume City have shifted to be a bit more compact, getting plenty of numbers behind the ball. Not letting the game stretch as much, as we're close to 10 minutes towards half-time. I'm sure Nick Hegarty would be happy to go in at the break at 1-1. And Weir. Now they're looking for that big switching ball. Brian out of his box, but gets a good clearance. Bowler. Ball falls into midfield. Hillier. He's made that transition from centre-back to defensive midfield, his own so far for Avondale. And in the end, it took a while for the referee to pay that foul. It's a crunching challenge on player out wide. How have you seen the game so far, Neil?
Well, the game has ebbed and flowed in many ways. Obviously, we had 2 opening goals where the intensity was extremely high. The tempo was high octane. It was, well, you would have thought at the time you would have got a cricket score out of it. However, there haven't been too many distinct attacking opportunities for both sides. And, well, as Hume have controlled tempo, Avondale are able to sort of muster the way back into the contest.
Langlois flicks it away. Lundy will get here first, though. Quickly. He's seized upon by Hume City players, but gets a good cross in, and the shot, the header from Katabian goes wide, but great build-up work there by Lundy.
Oh, Lundy did fantastic there to spot the men in the middle in the box. Obviously, it was Joey Katabian who got his head onto it. Perhaps didn't jump as high as he would have liked, just going wide of the goal, but some positive attacking interplay from Avondale.
Just a few signs the last 5-10 minutes that Avondale are really wearing down Hume City. And both sides will be into the next round of the FFA Cup as well after their victories in the last couple of weeks. It was Hume City, I think it was over the Frankston Pines, and it might have... can't remember who Avondale actually have beaten.
It was a State League 1 side, I'm very sure of that. But it was, I believe, 2-0.
It was Yarraville Glory, I think it was, yeah. So we've seen both sides make the national rounds. Hume City have done it on quite a few occasions. Mark Callis, ball's cut out. Lundy into the path of Katabian. Hume trying to get numbers back, but Joey Katabian keeps driving, and his shot is at Michael Weir. It's a good run there by Bolins, and Katabian tried to take it on himself.
Joey Katabian, he has been deployed in a midfield role this year, but obviously he did start his career as a striker when he was at the Melbourne Victory and did come off the bench for Brisbane Roar on a couple of occasions, but obviously twisting and turning there, trying to get the shot off, and well, Michael Weir was in trouble too much, wasn't he?
So, well, many moons ago too, in the Victory NPL, he was a big reason, scoring a lot of goals to get Melbourne Victory promoted to the top division quite a few years ago. And we just thought that maybe his A-League career would have blossomed there because he was such a natural finisher. As you said, come off the bench a few times for Victory and the Roar. Remember early in his game against Central Coast, he had this stinging shot from long distance, and I was directly behind it. It was going to go into the top corner, but it just took a little deflection on its way through, and just think maybe if he gets that early goal in his A-League career, things can sort of pan out a bit different. Speak of that man, a big switching ball. Lazaretti's quite happy to head the ball out. It's been a really good battle between Lazaretti's and Otchang and the two wingers in Carpenter and Valentini. Lazaretti's had a big part in that Hume City goal, setting Dixon free, and then the cut back to Brennan. And obviously Stefan Valentini jumped highest at the back post and was able to equalise. Brian. Both sides can see up the clock, only under 5 minutes now to half time. Can Hume City now, with driving forward through Dixon, looking for Bingham, and that's a good touch there by Riccobene. Great composure, Valentini trying to hit the ball into the path of Towns, and Bowler will see the ball out. Both players put their hands up to say whose throw it is. It will be Hume City's. Now Otchang crosses in, shouts for handball, it's going to be paid. Reid can't have too many complaints. His arm was out away from his body a little bit, and the ball's found its way through. Reid's trying to say that his arms are near by his side, but I don't know about you, Neil. It looked like the hand was a little bit out, and it's definitely brushed the hand, and referee was in a great position.
I have to say, a referee in my own right, well, not at NPL level, obviously, but his arms were stretched out. He was trying to make an effort to put them behind his side that would have warranted not a penalty. But, nonetheless, it will be Josh Bingham to perhaps let us one home, and Rory Bryan is remonstrating with the referee at the moment.
Well, Hume City have a great opportunity here. Josh Bingham, Hume City's number 9 from the penalty spot, to try to give Hume City back the lead here at Avenger Park. As Josh Bingham shoots right now, straight up the middle. There was a little touch from Brian, but Josh Bingham has been able to put Hume City back in the lead here just before half-time.
A dagger in the hearts of the Avondale faithful. A penalty that could have been easily avoided. Matthew Reid sticking out his arm, and that warranted the penalty decision. And they've got a mountain to climb, Avondale, if they want to claw their way back into this fixture just on the stroke of half-time. The goal will be proving crucial. There's Nick Hegarty. Oh, you'd say he must be elated with this result.
He'd be quite happy to be leading here. Hume City have not beaten Avondale at Avenger Park before. In fact, it's successive 3-0 losses, I believe, that Hume City's had against Avondale here at this venue. They're quite happy to take this lead heading into half-time. And I just had the opportunity to look on the replay again. Reed's hand was a little bit close to his body, but he's definitely moved the arm away from the body a little bit towards the ball. So I can see why the referee has seen that and paid it. As Avondale try to get a goal back just before half-time. Langlois is fouled, though. And you think Hume City won't be in too much of a rush to take this, Neil?
Well, absolutely not. Obviously, we saw 2 goals in quick succession earlier in the contest with Hume City opening the scoring. So they might want to make sure that lightning does not strike twice here at Avenger Park. You say Michael Weir will take his time.
Not only is he taking his time, I reckon he's taken a good 6 or 7 metres forward from that. Well, he has come from a rugby state, and it's always about territory in that game, and I think he's taken a good 7 metres as Michael Weir. Over the top, Lundy. Mark Callis fights for it. Katabian shouts for handball, and it's another handball's been paid. I'm not sure too much Katabian could have done about that one, though.
No, definitely not. The ball headed straight to his arms.
This probably gives Hume City an opportunity here just to try to get them towards stoppage time. And also Danny Dixon is quite capable from long range as well too, so I wouldn't be surprised if he goes for a direct shot and tries to catch Rory Bryan out. 3-man wall. Dixon's going to try his luck. It deflects off the wall into the path of Langlois, and he sees the ball out for a Hume City corner. So there's going to be plenty to talk about in the sheds. As how much stoppage time is there, Neil?
1 minute of stoppage time. Probably reflective on the amount of stoppages there's been in this contest, so you'd expect this will be one of the last attacking opportunities for either side.
Gang, Hume City, like Avondale, deploy plenty of numbers around the 6-yard box. Flicked on. Langlois is there, back towards bowler. That is a great diving stop by Reed, who has thrown his body at everything so far in this first half. Bingham trying to jump over the top, but Rory Bryan will get to that. Valentini wants the quick release. In the end, he rolls it out to Reed. Hillier. And maybe Avondale are quite content to get to the break and see what Zoran Markovski can try to do to change this game. We've spoken about the quality they have on the bench. So you know that with the quality that Avondale have, they're going to get back into this game, and maybe they get one last chance. Into the box, Maricic was able to deflect it away, and to the disappointment of the Avondale fans, the 1 minute of stoppage time is up, and they're not going to have a chance to take that corner.
Oh, I'd say it's a controversial decision. Some minutes, well, several seconds were cut off that Hume corner, but nonetheless, both sides will go into the end of this first half with plenty to play for. Hume with the advantage, and you'd have to say justifiably so.
Yeah, Hume City in that middle part really did have a lot of possession in the game. They jumped Avondale with that early goal, and a couple of balls over the top did look quite dangerous with a pretty high line that Avondale were playing, but Avondale definitely had their quality moments in that game. But 3 goals have been scored in this game so far, and it was Andy Brennan in the 4th minute. We had Stefan Valentini in the 8th minute, and Josh Bingham from the penalty spot in the 43rd minute. So that's the way it is here at Avenger Park. We'll be back in about 10 to 15 minutes for the second half. It is Avondale 1, Hume City 2.
Yeah, no, it's good. Yeah, I feel like very comfortable. I like that. Like the comfortability is really good. So, yeah, I just love
Hello everybody, welcome.
It is Avondale versus Hume City. It is Avondale 1, Hume City 2. Hume City with a late goal from the penalty spot from Josh Bingham after a handball in the box. And we're just about ready for the second half here to start. As the referee makes sure his microphone is all checked. Checks his watch as we get ready for a big second half here at Avenger Park. My name is Chris Gleeson. Welcome back to the commentary, Neil Simon. How are you, mates? And what did you think of the first half?
Well, it really was an intriguing first half. We had sort of 3 goals were spread across the start and the end of the halves. It was quite the contest in that sort of 30-minute bluffer in the middle. It was Hume controlling the play most of the time. That's sort of reflected in the scoreline in many ways. So you can't discount the attacking quality that Avondale have off the bench and expect that to play a major role in this contest.
Definitely with, as you said, Christian Krzyzewski, Stefan Zini and Yusuf Ahmed as well too. So there's a lot of attacking talent on that bench, and also for Hume City a bit of a chance for Josh McGuigan and also for Alex Walter, a couple of new signings to make an impact on the bench if need be. But it is Avondale, and Carpenter's pass is cut out. Zugan goes well to track back and touch from Ocheng and couldn't keep the ball in play. As we just go through the goal scorers again, in the 4th minute it was Andy Brennan from Danny Dixon's cutback, and it trickled home. Wrong footing Rory Bryan in the Avondale goal as Jakupi gets the ball out wide. As once again both teams are saying who gets the throw, and it will be a Hume City throw. So it was Andy Brennan with the scrambled finish home from close range, and 4 minutes later it was Stefan Valentini jumped highest at the back post to beat Michael Weir. So 2 goals in the first 8 minutes, and as I just said, it was a cross came out wide from Hume City, bounced in the box. Matthew Reid had his hand a little bit away from his body and the ball struck his arm. The referee gave the penalty, which Josh Bingham was able to dispatch. So 3 goals so far in this quite entertaining game, as it's getting a bit gloomy here at Avenger Park. Surely the lights will be turned on soon, as Reid tries to fire the ball through and Lazaridis takes it out. But as you see, Avondale on the front foot early in this second half already, Neil.
Well, Avondale attacking in a very high-octane press and, well, wing play.
Once again, Carpenter gets onto that left foot. Michael Weir at the near post. There will be a goal kick. As Joey Katabian is screaming at the linesman for the moment. Believes that it was a deflection off that. The referee's going to go over and speak to his assistant to see was there a deflection and out for an Avondale throw, or will it be a Hume City goal kick? Bit of a conference at the moment. And the referee is just trying to calm things down and let the players know. And we're still waiting on a final decision, I think, Neil, and in the end it will be a Hume City goal kick. But the referees today, Ionis Zizis is the man in the middle with Terry Constandalos and Joshua Drakeford, the assistant referees, and Daniel Porter is the fourth official in this game. As we're still waiting for Michael Weir to restart play. Also, there is another game on a bit later tonight, 6:30 tonight, Altona Magic versus Port Melbourne. Port Melbourne have had a solid start to the season. They've played some good football and been hard to break down so far this year. And Altona Magic, after spending big at the start of the year, have had a few different managers come and go, and it just hasn't clicked on the field and find themselves at the moment in the relegation spot.
Well, you would expect it with the acquisitions that Altona had, with Harry Noon being the notable one, as well as Vince Lear. They just really haven't latched onto some form, and well, it's been quite a disastrous season thus far for Altona. They actually played Hume City in the first round of the NPL and got a draw to start with. So I guess since that point, it's been all downhill. I believe they're only on 4 points or something along those lines.
Yes, they are.
5 points, my apologies.
With Dandenong City on 4. Altona, a big opportunity for them to bridge the gap with St Albans, who are on 8 points, who really have a poor goal difference, minus 17 at the moment. Hume City is one of the sides that smacked them up 6-0 a couple of weeks ago, and a hat-trick from Valentini was enough to beat them at Churchill Reserve last week. And one of their better players so far this year. John McGugan is come across to Hume City on that bench, and it's Yute Towns with a switching ball. Plenty of room out wide. Carpenter crosses it in, Maricic away. Now Dixon tries to get away from Jakupi. He's done well there, Dixon. Looking for support. And switches it out wide, Brennan. Great skill from Andy Brennan. Trying to play it through to Mark Callis. Ball was a bit too hot for him, and Riccobene will go back to Rory Bryan. Now Lazaridis. In the end, Valentini gets the ball back off him. Sliding challenge. Advantage to be played. Hillier. Well, the referee did pay advantage, and it didn't come off for the Avengers, and now Ochang. Seemed to be clipped. Brennan finds his way through Marcallis and Bingham in the box, and it's Theo Marcallis. It was always going to be a difficult shot to swivel his body and get enough power on that, and it goes over the top.
Well, it was Theo Marcallis who was in the right space at the right time. Flux it over the bar. And Avondale will look to consolidate. And I think, well, if you look at the attacking chances, a lot of them do come through Yute Towns, who is quite a tidy defensive midfielder. Has obviously got plenty of agility to move forward, so expected to be a key cog in the machine.
With Jakupi, Yute Towns is one of the best, I reckon, two-way runners in midfield in the NPL Victoria. Does a power of work. Mark Callis. He's got Brennan. And now they want Bingham over the top. Bingham will there. Just wide from his touch. Dixon wants the ball played short. Bingham goes to roll, and he couldn't wrap his foot around it the way he wanted, and it goes out for a goal kick.
Well, that first touch wasn't as good as he would have liked. Just forced him very wide. Drifted centrally and fired it just wide, but look at the power that he has in his right foot. Could definitely penetrate the goal of Rory Bryan this afternoon, and well, you'd expect would possibly earn them a couple points, or should Hume secure another goal.
As with Hume City, at least on the live ladder, would move back into the top 6 if they were able to get victory here, but you've still got Oakley playing tomorrow. Both Hume City and Oakley would be a little bit disappointed at this stage of the year that they've sort of dropped away from a little bit from the title race. There's plenty of points on offer to make that up as the season progresses, as we're only 11 rounds into a 26-round season. But Hume City, 5 wins from 5 games last year. lost a few key players and have dropped back to the pack a little bit. And that's going to be a foul with a couple of challenges. Theo Markellis going to ground and try to prevent the attack. It's a great opportunity for Avondale. If they can turn this around, they will be able to move to top position. And also have a better goal difference than Heidelberg if Heidelberg was to win too. So they'll probably end the top of the rounds first at the end of the round if that happens, as there is a substitution at the moment. It's Dylan Jacoupy. And we wait to see who has come on. It looks like Stefan Zini. It's going to be very easy to spot Zini with one fluoro boot, one orange boot. And as Valentini moves the ball forward for the Avengers, and the shot comes in. No deflection. And the ball goes out harmlessly for a goal kick as Lundy was making his way forward. So it looks like Carpenter's now moved to left back. Lundy's moved to right back. And Zini joins the attack. Reed cushions it to Blake Carpenter. And the ball over the top. Jumping up was Boland. And Hume get it back. Looking for Dixon. And the flag goes up. So that's the first change in this game so far, Neil. And we spoke about the quality that Avondale have off the bench, and great opportunity for Stefan Zini.
Well, absolutely. The two Stefans will certainly illustrate the interplay that they do have. Valentini operating in that right wing position, and Zini preferred on that left hand side. And it was actually quite funny that both sides have had players signed for West United in some capacity this season, which I've just found is quite obviously. It would have been the striker that Hume did sign earlier this season.
Kane Shepherd, yeah.
Yeah, so, well, some striking ability that's still in abundance for Avondale, but will Kanzini be the one to turn it around?
Well, he makes his way into the box now. It's back post towards Zini, heads the ball down, and Langlois gets it clear now. Brennan hasn't got much support other than Bingham, who again uses his body so well to hold the ball up for Hume City and gets the throw. And so important in that role is Josh Bingham when Hume City are on the back foot, just to play that outlet ball to him. More often than not, he's able to hold the ball up and get Hume City out of pressure. It's Carpenter, heads the ball out for a throw. Zoran Markovski, the manager in the Avondale dugout, gives the ball back to Ochang. Now Maradicic. Langlois turns it over. You'd think that Nick Hegarty, almost 15 minutes played here in the second half, will be still quite happy to hold off these Avondale attacks for the moment.
Oh, absolutely. I think in terms of how Nick Hegarty has set up his side this half, it's sort of let the play come to them, let us operate on the counter-attack, and they've succeeded in sort of many areas, but Avondale are controlling the tempo now. It's just a matter of if they're able to maintain that as they go on. Obviously Avondale do have the stronger bench, but Hume obviously do have that new signing.
Gee, that's a decent
as well. Yeah.
Sliding challenge here by Hillier. They did get stuck in a game earlier this year, Avondale, against Green Gully, where Green Gully had a red card from Jay Davies in the driving rain after 30 minutes and still were unable to break them down. But they've got the opportunity with Towns here. Probably could have played it a little bit early, but in the end, Lundy tries to get the cross in and Dixon cuts it out. Yete Towns just had to get his head up. He had Valentini in a passing move, and it's a lot like that Green Gully game where Avondale had a lot of the ball, obviously trying to break down a team that's got 10 men, and there was times where they had that pass to play the ball through and they just hesitated or had the simple bowl and made that mistake, and it's been a little bit like that for Avondale today.
Well, I think Avondale, they obviously did lose, I believe, to Port Melbourne earlier in the campaign as well. So against, I wouldn't say the lowly opposition, but opposition that is down lower on the table, they are able to sort of break them down as effectively as they can be. By no means have they dominated this fixture as well. So Hume do have the ability to dead this game effectively, especially with the sort of 30 minutes we have left in regulation time. So for Markovski, it's going to be a very interesting sort of dilemma he's faced with. Do you put on more attackers, or do you maintain your defensive solidity moving forward in order not to concede goals?
And that's what Hume City was sort of look to try to do as the game goes on. At the moment, while they're under a lot of pressure from Avondale, they'll play that outlet ball, try to get the ball to Bingham to hold it up, but there will be moments where he's able to do that, and Avondale will be committed a little bit too forward, and you'll see the pace of Dixon and Brennan, and here's a chance for Brennan to try to get through. As I say that, it's Andy Brennan. Can he find a teammate? It's an own goal. The cutback looking for Bingham, and Ricabene has put the ball into the back of his own net, and as I just said that, Hume City to Bingham flicks it on. Andy Brennan with a great bit of skill, and Hume City go 3-1 up.
Ultimately, it was a run from Josh Bingham on that right-hand side in transition. And obviously, Ricabene to put in the back of his net. He will be extremely frustrated with that effort. Well, it's a Herculean task for Avondale to kill their way back into this fixture, but, well, what a display we've seen from Hume City. The doubters were there in abundance, but they've shown themselves this afternoon that they are up there in the NPL Victoria standings.
I said it's still got half an hour to go in this game, and Avondale have a lot of quality, and they've been known to score goals, the highest scoring team in NPL Victoria so far. But Hume City have managed this game extremely well, and Andy Brennan, just great bit of skill to break three. And you know, if it wasn't Ricabene's sliding challenge, Bingham would have tapped in, so he had to do that diving challenge but couldn't deflect the ball away from goal, and Rory Bryan was rooted to the spot as Philip Ricabene, who's been an excellent player for many years here for Avondale, unfortunately has put the ball into his own net. As Bowler trying to turn, uses his strength. The pass into midfield is turned over. Now how can Avondale respond? Half an hour is still a long time in a football match. Reed looking for Lundy. Lazaridis is able to get a little touch and out for a throw. And now Katabian trying to find the angle, and that is going to be, well, it's definitely going to be a yellow card. Ozugan with his, well, in the end, a really professional foul. Valentini was in a dangerous area, and before he could get into the box, he dragged him down.
Well, if that's a yellow card, then, well, Hume are placed under plenty of pressure from the set piece. Oh, the shirt of Valentini was clearly pulled down, as we will be seeing another substitution, two from Avondale.
So it will be Katabian. He's one of them to make way for Christian Trzeski, who's a quality player that'll play that number 10 role. And it's going to be another one where Liam Boland, I believe, he's going to make his way off for Yusuf Ahmed. So their trump cards have been pulled now for Avondale off the bench. And Liam Boland just hasn't really been able to get into the game. He's been plagued by injury a little bit this year. But now a couple of changes with Trzeski. Yusuf Ahmed, cross comes in. Michael Weir was able to punch away. Mark Callis is just going to be able to clear it, and Hume City will try to get back into shape. Over the top. Langlois, Valentini, as he was last week. He's going to be played through the middle. Carpenter will get there. Shouts for a foul, not given. And Brennan did have that last touch. As much as he likes to think it didn't come off him, and Hume City going to make their second change. And it's going to be an opportunity for John McGuigan to come on. And it's going to be Theo Marcellus to make way. Such a popular figure at Hume City. And he's put in a good shift for Hume City, and they do make that change. So Avondale have cleared the bench, and Hume City have had a couple of substitutes as well. Marcellus, one of the 3 yellow cards for Hume City, with Bosdugan and Mark Otchang as well. Now Avondale with 25 minutes to try to turn this game around and end the round in top position. There's Ricabene. Now Zini. As you can see, a very compact Hume City in front of them. Long ball looking for Lundy, and that's going to evade him. Once again, Avondale have that opportunity and just overhit the pass or underhit the pass, and it's just not working for them at the moment, Neil.
Well, absolutely. It's just those 1%ers. The underhit passes, the overhit passes have really sort of troubled themselves moving forward, and especially parrying the ball to the likes of Stefan Valentini has been a clear focal point of what Avondale have tried to do this afternoon. But obviously, when you have a more agile striker, well, you expect to be taking up that position, and Yusuf Ahmed will, but we are in for quite the 25 minutes of regulation time.
Yes, we are, with Yusuf Ahmed. Now Hillier. Avondale trying to move it quickly to the other side. Zini. So again, Hume well organised. Brennan comes back on defensive duty. So Hume City looking to get their first win on the road so far this season. We spoke in the first half that only 1 point has been gained for Hume City in their 5 games away from home so far this year, to have them rooted at the bottom with the worst away record in the league. Lundy, such a great crosser of the ball. That's a good area. It's headed away from Zini by Maricic. Now Brennan. McGuigan out wide, trying to play the ball through. It's a good ball, and he's going to find Bingham. Hume City pushing numbers forward. Josh Bingham goes to the near post, tries to poke it through, and this time Ricabene was in the right spot and gets it clear.
It was a fantastic poke from Josh Bingham to recognise the space that he had there, and what a wonderful goal line clearance, if you will, from Ricabene. Perhaps 4 goals will not be the mantra that Hume will be operating on today.
And Hume City are just going to be doing that for the rest of the game. They're going to defend strongly and be compact, and once they win the ball back, they're going to look to try to get Bingham and has that outlet. And they know they've got some pace in Brennan and McGuigan, and should try to help them out. And Danny Dixon. They've given the ball up cheaply here. Lazaridis tries to win it back. Maricic. Good bit of strength from him. And again, it's Bingham the outlet. Read away. Maricic out of position. And in the end, he was late to that one. And it's going to give Avondale a great opportunity to strike on goal.
Well, it was a fantastic clearance from Matthew Reid to parry the ball into the right space for Ute Towns to lash onto it. It was fouled in the build-up. You would expect it might be Jajeski who will take this. He is a very crafty midfielder with European experience, so don't be surprised if he does take this set piece and look to curl it into either of the top corners.
I think it will be Trajeski, or if the angle's right, for the left foot of Blake Carpenter. Let's see, both players are conversing at the moment to see who's got the better angle to strike on this. Hume City with a 4-man wall that Michael Weir has organised. There will be Carpenter, and he fires the ball straight into the middle of that wall. He'll get a chance to cross with his right. Maricic away. Now Bingham. Can't keep the ball in play. Now Trzaski. Isolated there is Valentini. Zini, heavy touch. And Ochang will get there first. Ooh, solids. Look like shoulder to shoulder, but Ahmed was able to get his body just in front and get the foul. Hume City quite deep at the moment. Yusuf Ahmed and Carpenter. They're finding it very difficult to break down Hume City. Trzaski, great bit of skill, but couldn't get the ball back. Langlois. Now Towns. Great turn. Valentini and Maricic in the way again.
Oh, I believe it.
Sorry, I think the referee's paid a foul in the build-up. Sorry there, Neil.
I was actually about to mention that. The foul had been given in the build-up, yes. This time a little bit deeper for Trzaski, or Carpenter, either two, but you'd expect that the ball will be whipped in here. And we'll see who is able to get on the head of it. Matthew Reid possesses the height dominance.
Can Avondale just pull a goal back to make this a nervous final 20 minutes for Hume City? Once again, Trzaski and Carpenter over the ball. Reid and Hillier are the target. Reid, Bingham gets it away from him. And now Hume City will look to try to counter. Dixon couldn't get his head up. Hume will get it back through Ochang. Away, flicked on. And the ball eludes Brennan, who was in his attacking half, so he probably would have been called for offside with that one anyway. Now Reid. You take Towns. And now they find the outlet ball for Ricabene, who gets his head up. Trzaski made the run over the top, but Ochang cuts that one out. Now Hume City. They will have numbers forward, but the ball evades McGuigan, who's chasing after it. Towns with great composure. Now Valentini. And for Yusuf Ahmed, the ball's left a bit short. It's just going to be wave and wave of attacking intent from Avondale from here on forward, Neil.
So pretty much parry the ball into that attacking half, and Hume will be sure to clear the balls and clear their lines when they can and where they can. To the likes of that man who just got fouled. Well, perhaps not, in Josh Bingham.
It's a good challenge in the air. Lazaridis can't cut that one out. Zini, what can he create here for Avondale? And the fans are a bit unhappy because they see that the offside flag went up. He was looking across the line. It was pretty tight, but could have gone either way, that decision. And it gives Hume City the opportunity just to slow the game down for the moment. Michael Weir once again is trying to pinch a metre or two. In fact, we can have another conference here between the refs. So something was said to the assistant referee by a few people in the crowd, so I think security's not happy with this. So obviously something unpleasant was said to the referee, which we definitely do not condone. And it looks like that patron's going to be escorted out, so there's no need for referee abuse from the players or coaches or from the crowd, and the right decision was made there by the assistant referee to go and speak to the referee and security and get that patron out of the ground.
It's never tolerated at any level of football. Referees don't always get the decisions right, but abuse of that nature is not tolerated at any ground in Victoria or across Australia or in the world. And it's good to see that Avondale have taken the correct course of action.
Long cross by Michael Weir. Fumble from Brian, but he's got plenty of time to go back and pick that ball up. It's probably a bit cold at the moment. He hasn't had a huge amount to do in this second half. Apart from that own goal from Philip Riccobene, it's hasn't had a huge amount to do as Rory Bryan here in the second half. And now Reid. Towns through the middle. And it's going to be a big test of character for Avondale of trying to break Hume City down. Yusuf Ahmed will chase after it. And in the end, the ball goes out for a corner. He's done well there to rake that one in.
Absolutely. The first sign of attacking intent from Yusuf Ahmed to make a bustling run on that left-hand side.
So strong from set pieces, Avondale. Maybe this is what could break them down. They're going to get a second opportunity. Cross comes in. Michael Weir couldn't get there. Goes through the legs of Valentini. And Avondale still have the ball. Valentini, just weight of Hume City numbers, will get the ball clear. Good composure from Lazaridis. Langlois. And now with his right foot gets it clear. Lundy. Brennan uses his height and strength and can't keep the ball in. Now Riccobene as the rain comes back here. And what has been let's say a weird day, but a typical Melbourne day with sunshine and rain patches throughout. As we move towards the final 15 minutes of this game. The second half that Hume City have managed really well so far. Bowler. And now they find a little bit of room out wide, but Dixon couldn't reel it in. It's Reid. And the foul's been given away from Andy Brennan. I want to take it quick. Trzajeski, very creative player, tries to play the ball through, and Maricic with an important touch. Now, can Hume City start one of those counter-attacks? It's well cut out by Reid. And Trzajeski again. Langlois and Ochang. Now Brennan. But Hume City have been able to answer everything so far, haven't they, Neil?
Absolutely, and in fact, they'll make a substitution. The wonderful playmaking abilities of Josh Bingham will be substituted for Alex Walter, a new arrival as well for Hume City. Started last week and will look to make his chances in the second half.
And the referee's going to go over to the Hume City bench, and looks like Josh Bingham has been given a yellow card, maybe for something he said, or a bit of back chat as he's made his way to the bench. It's been a great shift by Josh Bingham. He's been that outlet. He's been able to hold the ball up well, but Alex Walter, a different type of player, a bit more quicker and dynamic by feet. He's had a good career for Glenorchy Knights down in NPL Tasmania and made his move recently to Victoria. But he's got a big finish for this game so far as Walter, because he's going to have to do a lot of that running work to chase down balls in the channel, you would think, and be the outlet for Hume City now. Now Reid. And Hillier. So we can see Avondale with a back three with Riccobene, Reid and Hillier now, and really pushing Lundy and Carpenter forward. And it's going to be out wide. Lundy across the 6-yard box. Michael Weir was able to reel that one in before it trickled across the line as Yusuf Ahmed threw himself at the near post, but Michael Weir comes up big, does the Hume City captain.
Well, that's why he's one of the best goalkeepers in the NPL across the nation. Gets across to that so well. Yusuf Ahmed got to that effectively, but nothing stops Michael Weir in those situations.
Gee, would have been a hard one. It looked like it was going to trickle over the line, but the long limbs of Michael Weir, and now Hume try to get a fourth. Brian well positioned. Now Hume have a couple of players committed forward. Is this the chance for Avondale to try to break through him? As you can see, Brennan work hard to get back into position. Another chance to go quick there, Avondale. It's just these not making the right decision in those attacking situations in this game. Ahmed. Ochang in the way again. Rikabene. Now Zini uses that pace and gets past. Can he find the right pass into the box? And again, Hume City clear it. Langlois this time. 6s and 7s at the back, Hume City, and able to clear. And Mark Ochang, who's suffered a bit of cramp. It could be a bit of a tactical ploy too, because Avondale are really stretching this game at the moment, Neil.
Oh, absolutely. It was Stefan Zini who dropped his marker in. Mark Ochang over there. He's been quite a sizable addition since his return to the side. He's been in and out of the Hume City squad this season, but has put in quite the shift today.
They've got such a versatile squad too at Hume City. You see Wasdugan, who can play full back or play in the midfield. Ochang, Dixon, they can play either as wingers or Lazaridis or full backs. So there's great versatility in this squad for Hume City, but Ochang is getting treated for at the moment. Gives both sides a chance to have a bit of a breather. Hume City will try to see how they can manage out these final 10 minutes, and Avondale are looking for the miraculous comeback. They really have a never-say-die attitude to the Avengers. Hume City look to get their first win here at Avenger Park, their first away win of the season.
Well, what a achievement that would be, and it appears that that Mitch Cooper has been substituted on for Mark Ochang. Obviously the fourth official has not put up the substitution board in this scenario, but it will be Mitch Cooper you'd expect will be the final change for Hume City this afternoon.
And you sort of expect that Dixon will now move to that full-back position as he has, and Cooper further up the pitch. As we said, the versatility the Hume possess in this squad. Where Avondale, on the other hand, have had so many attacking players, they've had to find midfield spots for players and the likes of Joey Kadabian as well. So, two pretty strong squads here in NPL Victoria. Hume City with the better of it so far. Goals from Andy Brennan, Josh Bingham, and an own goal to Philip Rikabene. There was an early equaliser to make it 1-1 in the 8th minute from Stefan Valentini, but since then, Avondale have created opportunities, but have been able to get this second goal, as Hume have managed this second half perfectly so far. Towns. There's Reid. Now Lundy. And Reid will restart things with Rikabene. Lundy's got some room out wide. And that's a poor giveaway there by Hillier. Hume City with numbers forward. Brennan, back post. Here's Cooper, chest it. Mitch Cooper fires, and Rory Bryan got his body behind that one and makes the save. Hume stay on the attack. Brennan turns it over. Valentini, here's a chance to play the ball through to Zini, and it was well cut out.
Avondale here to consolidate and look to build up the play. You can only wonder how these last 7 minutes or so in regulation time will transpire. There's a wonderful interception there from Mitch Cooper. Doesn't exactly win the second effort there. Krzyzewski in the middle.
It's a good battle between him and Cooper. Krzyzewski gets it back. Lundy crosses in, near post. Chance by Valentini. It was a great idea of what he was trying to do. Quick touch, then fire with the shot across the body, but was unable to get the shot away. As driving rain persists here, we've had quite a few wet days here at Avenger Park this year. Brian was able to retreat back to his box, and it's a good thing that Avondale have put up a grandstand this year so the patrons don't get wet. It would have been quite a wet and miserable place to come if it wasn't for the new grandstand on the far side. Pretty modest crowd in here for what has been a pretty entertaining game. Ball through, Zini, great touch to drive forward for Avondale. Carpenter, a box, and it evades everyone. Yusuf Ahmed again in a great position. And it must have just evaded him. It looked like he was going to tap in and set up a grandstand finish.
Well, it was, I guess, so many of these balls have been whipped into the box so well. It's been Yusuf Ahmed often on the end of it, but the chance eluded him and eludes Avondale, as the chances that Avondale will spur on a comeback look slimmer and slimmer as each minute and second subsides.
Cooper was able to keep that in. Dixon just swings his foot at it. One for Andy Brennan to chase. Gets there first. Just looking for red shirts in support. And he finds it. Ball through. McGuigan, bowler into the box. It's going to set it up here for McGuigan. And they get it away. Now on the break. Here's Lundy. Valentini. Hume just have all the answers at the moment. Bowler. Now Avondale out wide through Stefan Zini. Another chance to run at this Hume defence. And the ball is wasted again and over the top for a goal kick.
Well, you have to say that Avondale have had lapses in play, just those mistakes that continue to eat them up inside as the confidence slowly is decreasing by the minute. And Michael Weir will definitely take his time on this goal kick. He's been quite the player for them this evening. Well, afternoon, heading into the evening, of course.
Great header there by Reid. Lundy can't keep it in play. As Valentini gives the ball to Lazaridis. They haven't got that tall target of Bingham anymore. Lazaridis, one up the line that he can't keep in play. Now Rory Bryan. Big long ball over the top. Dixon. All he could do was head the ball into the path of Carpenter, but he does well with the sliding challenge. As Hume City are almost there. Avondale again. Despite all their attacking possession, they haven't really tested Michael Weir. Only that Yusuf Ahmed chance that almost trickled over the line, but other than that, it's been pretty comfortable for Hume. McGuigan over the top. Walton won't be able to get to that one. Rory Bryan with great distribution. Lundy. And Rikabene again. They've come up against a very well organised Nick Hegarty side here today, Neil, and just really struggled to break them down.
Well, absolutely. It's really a focus on the versatility that they've got in those midfield areas, they could track back effectively and will be quite the force against a very strong Avondale attack.
Now Towns. Carpenter out wide. Brennan's tracked him pretty well so far in this game, but Carpenter's driven forward. Trajeski quickly snuffed out. Hume City know the talent he has from long range and did not give him the opportunity to shoot. Still on the ball. And now Lundy, as they look for that cross, deflected. Michael Weir at the near post, and he's able to hold on. Just 1 minute plus stoppage time to go here in Saturday afternoon NPL Victoria action. Looks like it's going to be an upset here with Hume City. Looking to get the 3 points. Now Hume. Bowler. He's got Cooper at the back post. It's going to send him wide. His defence is shouting out for him to stay in the corner. Goes back to Lazaridis. McGuigan. Michael Weir shouting corner, corner, but Hume take the attack on. McGuigan looking to shoot and can't wrap his foot around it.
I believe 5 minutes of stoppage time has been added as well onto this fixture, so any chance Avondale can get to parry the long ball forward and possibly cause Hume a bit of stress remains to be seen.
Long ball over the top. Zini will get there first and lob the keeper, and Avondale do pull one back. Stefan Zini. Just in the end, it was a simple ball through over the top. Hume City with their defence with hands on hips, and we are going to get this grandstand finish because Avondale pull one back. It is 2 goals to Avondale, 3 to Hume City with just a few minutes to play. Can Avondale pull back a point in this game?
Well, that is a question that's on everybody's lips. An assist from a goalkeeper, you don't get that too often for Rory Bryan. He'll be very chuffed with that effort. But 4 minutes left. It's in the grand scheme of things, there's not a lot of time, but in the confines of stoppage time, there's plenty to play for here.
Well, Avondale, as I said, they never give up, do the Avengers. They've got so much attacking intent on the pitch. Now Hume City through Brennan. You think he's just going to go for the corner, use his experience, and he gets the throw for his team. So Avondale, as you said, it's an assist for the goalkeeper. Long ball over the top. Michael Weir did come off his line, just couldn't get there in time, and Stefan Zini with a little lob over the top. Now Brennan. I think Hume City are just going to go towards the corner. They can't keep the ball in though. Avondale get it back. Now Bryan, can he go for another assist? What is he going to go with? A long ball again. This time Maricic is in great position. Umut Buzdugan tries to head it in the path of Cooper. Now Yite Towns. So again, they'll go back to their playmaker, Rory Bryan at the back. This time out wide. Ball goes through. Zini is through again. Stefan Zini, Michael Weir with the save. And the follow-up is in. The follow-up is in, and it is Lundy who scores for Avondale. And it's been calamitous at the back for Hume City. And Rory Bryan with a couple of long balls over the top have caught Hume City out. And Lundy scores, and Avondale pull it back to 3-3.
Stefan Zini, brilliant awareness to take the shot there. And it is Lundy on the rebound. What a game of football we have here at Adventure Park. It's 3-3. Can you believe it? And it's 2 minutes left.
Oh, Nick Hegarty is just standing on the side of the pitch with hands on hips. They've defended so well in this second half, but it is Avondale with a couple of long balls in stoppage time. And in saying that, there's still time for a winner. Hume City with much more urgency now. Long throw from them. Ball in the middle. Long over the top looking for Cooper. Bryan comes out. Cooper gets the header. It's going to trickle towards goal, and Reed gets the ball away. just didn't have enough on the header. Rory Bryan just got himself caught out in position. And Reid, as he's done so far throughout this game, has thrown his body at absolute everything, and he's collided with the post as he's done that as well. And he's going to get some treatment here, is Reid. As 94 minutes have now been played here at Avenger Park. A couple of real stoppage time goals for Avondale have turned this game on its head. And Hume City, who look to record their first away win of the season, have conceded a couple of late goals, but they will have the opportunity with this late corner to try to get themselves a win of them. It's going to be Dixon across. Still more drama left to play out in the dying embers of this game here. It's Saturday afternoon NPL Victoria action as Dixon comes across to take this corner. Can Hume City get a fourth goal? Cross comes in, and it's Rory Bryan on the line who collects. He wants the quick throw, and Avondale take off. Lundy with the big switch. It's cut out, but they'll still get it back. Zini. Is the flag go up for offside? It does. Avondale players are not happy with that, but looking across the line, I think that's the right decision.
That could prove crucial. Well, obviously with that stoppage in play we had with Matthew Reid's injury, and maybe a minute left, mate. I'm not sure how long they'd be on for this one, but Michael Weir will place a long ball forward.
It could go to almost 7 minutes, you'd think. In fact, the referee has said enough is enough in what has been a pulsating match here in NPL Victoria action. It is Avondale 3, Hume City 3. Avondale coming from 3-1 down late in this game to steal a point with a couple of late goals. It's been a really excellent game, it has this one. In the 4th minute, it was Andy Brennan who scored the first goal. In the 8th minute, it was Stefan Valentini. Josh Bingham from the penalty spot just before half-time, and a Philip Riccobene goal after 61 minutes gave him that 3-1 lead. But 2 stoppage time goals in the 91st minute from Stefan Zini, and in the 93rd minute, Zini with a shot that was well saved by Weir, but only fell into the path of Lundy, who was able to pass into the open net. So what a pulsating game we've had here, Neil. 3-3. Hume City would definitely be the most disappointed of the two sides, but what a great game of football.
This is really what the NPL Victoria is all about. Stunning finishes and a stunning display of football from both sides. Hume City would go home utterly frustrated that they weren't able to retain that 3-1 lead. But Avondale, what a resilient side they are. Zoran Markowski should be elated with his 2 late goals, and I think all the credit must go to Stefan Zini, who was able to drive into space and create those 2 goals in one way or another.
It definitely seems like 3 points dropped for Hume City in that situation. 2 points dropped for Hume City in that situation. Avondale never say died. Avenger attitude gets them the point here, and that's the way it finishes here at Avenger Park. It is Avondale 3, Hume City 3. My name is Chris Gleeson, along with Neil Simon. It's been a pleasure to have you along for the ride today. There is more NPL Victoria action at 6:30 tonight as Paisley Parkers Altona Magic go up against Port Melbourne, and a couple of games tomorrow afternoon, so still plenty more action, and you can catch it all on YouTube and the NPL Victoria Facebook page. Thank you and good afternoon.
No, it's all right. I'm pretty particular with no Oh, crazy. Come on. What are you doing after this?